Hey, Obaki Hunter here. This is the second night I've just done an unexpected live stream. But with it being so close to Halloween and having a crazy day going over the evidence of the Pearl City High School screaming ghosts, I don't know. I just had to express myself. So here I am. Again, with whoever gets to watch this now or later, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I guess the one thing I really wanted to express was the whole spirit of Halloween. Hey, Rini, and hello, Mary Jean. The entire spirit of it. Not just because I was sitting here earlier going, dang, you know what? Every year at Halloween, we do so much ghosting, right? We do so much ghosting. Hey, look at all the people that are showing up. Faye, good to see you. Sin City, CR, thank you, everyone. Mary Jean, everyone here. You get so close to Halloween. Hawaiian Hauntings is here too. Thank you guys for being here. Hawaiian Hauntings will love this story. I think you might all like this story as well. So we get so close to Halloween, right? And we get kind of, some of us, Matt, thank you for being here. We get kind of burnt out, yeah, sometimes. I mean, I do, because it's just so much. It takes so much out of you. Pearl City this past weekend, just, I've said it several times. Yeah, I'm still kind of like recovering from it. It just zapped me. When I look at the video, I'm like, oh my God, I just have to kind of like put it into perspective. Oh, good. Hopefully this will put everyone in the mood for the big special day, Ghost Day, right? Coming up. So I decided to switch gears a little bit and get back into the spirit of the little bit more of the fun side of Halloween. Although to get to the fun, I had to go through some crazy stuff, right? I mean, just crazy, crazy to get to the fun. So, in part two, in part, this is a story that's dedicated to my dear friend Ivan Nomura. He was a great guy. We used to hang out, and he was also a funny guy. Short, bald, kind of fat Japanese guy, right? I remember one time when we were first starting ghosting with him, I was sitting inside the living room of my friend's place, and all of a sudden I look towards the window that's facing the street, and the windows are closed. I mean, the jealousies and everything are closed. But what I see approaching towards the house and then stopping before the door was like this shadow, right? And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So I'm staring at the shadow for a bit, and then the shadow comes up to the door and says hello. And it's my friend Ivan. So he says, before I say a single word, he says, what? I look like Alfred Hitchcock, and when you saw my shadow. I didn't want to say nothing, but because, he had the shape of Alfred Hitchcock. And I remember watching that show, a long time ago. So he was a funny guy. He would say something like that. Oh, bro, I look like Alfred Hitchcock when I was walking up to the door. Really good guy. We used to go out many different places. I remember one of the most, well, talk about funny things that happened. I took him up to Paradise Park. That's where the screaming banshee is and everything. And trust me, bro, we had some crazy, crazy stuff happen up there. None of it nice. None of it nice at all, right? But I guess Ivan had a way of turning things around sometimes. So I took him up there. And the reason why I took him up there, we walked up Manoa Falls Trail and it was dark and everything. And we got to the very back. And we started going up the trail a bit. Then we stopped and, I started talking to him and going, hey, you know what? This is where the banshee is. In case you guys are wondering what a banshee is, it's a spirit that's connected to omens, yeah? And it's, God, why am I saying this? Doesn't this connect to Pearl City High School? This is a spirit that screams. So, Manoa Falls Trail, even though this is a European-based entity, has a banshee. So, anyway, I'm talking to my friend Ivan about this. This is where she is. She's here. So I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there, just standing there talking with him. And he's looking at me in the dark, and I'm looking at him. And then there's a pause in the conversation. And then out of the blue, you heard like this. And I swear to God, it was so quiet that if either one of us went shishi our pants, we would have heard it. We were just frozen like statues, you know. But I know it was a little bit more for Ivan because Ivan is still new to all of this stuff, yeah. Whereas I've been kind of like more or less doing it for quite a while. So we're transfixed. He's terrified. I'm scared too, you know, because you know you're there, and just like at Pearl City High School, it's connected to a scream, right? So is this particular ghost, and we're like, God, this ghost is here, or heard us and is responding. So finally, you know, after a bit, we kind of like snap out of it, and I tell Ivan, I said, hey, you know what? Time for go already. So we walked out of the trail and we started walking back to the road, which is the front gate. And we're walking back. And as we're walking back, you know, I told Ivan, I said, hey, you know what? If you want to get used to ghosts, if you want to get used to being in a scary place, and by the way, thank you for the likes, guys. It really helps, yeah? I appreciate it. If you want to get used to scary places, what we gotta do is we gotta turn off the lights, okay? Turn off our flashlights, and we're gonna use our senses to get out of this place. So of course I know Ivan's thinking I'm kind of nuts, yeah. I'm kind of crazy for saying something like that. And so we turn off our lights and we're walking out, yeah, towards the main entrance. As we're doing that, you know, I think I mentioned it to him too. I said, hey, you know what, Ivan? There's this tour group called Oahu Ghost Tours, and they usually come around, you know, about this time. They usually stop by. So, and then I go back to what I'm doing with him, you know, and we're just kind of like using our senses to feel if there's anything out in the dark. Because, bruh, let me tell you about Manoa Falls Trail. Get plenty things out there in the dark, man. Plenty stuff, right? So we're walking out, and then all of a sudden, I hear a group of people walking from the front gate into the trail and is walking towards us. So I decided, you know what? We're just going to keep on walking, you know? So we continue to walk down. And then all of a sudden, I guess the leader of the group just kind of like stopped, right? And was like, what the hell? Because they all they could see was the, you know, our shadows. And so I heard him talk, and I said, Uncle Joe, is that you? And then he turned on his flashlight. He's like, "Oh, mahalo, mahalo, mahalo! Yeah, it's me, mahalo, mahalo! I'm just so glad it's people and not something scary. You know, it's you guys. Okay, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good." And you know, he was like that for about I don't know. He had a group of people, right? So he had to take care of them. You know, they're paying good money for that. They can't just look at two ghost hunters in the dark, right? They can't just look at us. So what happened was we were leaving, and then one of the other tour guides were like watching the van, and this guy named Robert started to laugh. He said, "Oh, bro, I heard Uncle Joe just kind of like flip out." I said, "Yeah, it was because of us, you know." So you know, these are the things that you remember about people, right? These are the things that really make a difference, whether or not you're ghosting or just your day to day life. And so Ivan was incredible, just a great, great guy, you know, and I miss him a lot. I do. You know, I was the one that pretty much introduced him to the paranormal, and then he, you know, he expanded and got to meet Hawaiian hauntings and everyone else. But that's not the main focus, right? It's just that just a really good guy that got caught up in extraordinary circumstances when he went out with us. But the one story that I really, really love, the real Halloween story that I got to share with you, and I know that usually once a year I share this Ivan Nomura story, right? It's a great story to me. It's just I don't know how to say it. Anyway, so I had gone out and I did a tour the night before Halloween for Honolulu Magazine, right? And it was a crazy night, absolutely insane. It ended up with dealing with someone that was getting possessed on the tour. So by the next night, I was just tired, you know? Fighting demons makes you weak and you feel drained, just like how we were out the other night, you know, except I think a little bit more this time. So I'm at home and I'm resting and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to just watch scary movies and then that'll be it. So I'm at home and then my phone rings and I pick up and it's Ivan. And Ivan's like, hey, you know what? We need to go out tonight. It's Halloween. I'm like, Ivan, you know, I just went out last night and I had the thing with the demon and everything. He's like, no, we got to go out, man. This is Halloween. This is our night. You know, this is what we do. You know, we live for that particular night. And I said, okay, well, I'll meet you and we'll go up to a place that I like to go to. And I'll tell you why I chose this location, okay? So we went up to Morgan's Corner. We walked in the dark and we got up there to see if we could experience something. But this is why I like Morgan's Corner and this is why I brought Ivan with me, okay? So we had been there previously on another, I used to call them vigils back then, you know, instead of saying ghost hunting, or I call it ghosting now. So we were there and we were hanging out and we got kind of brave, you know, stupid but brave. We sat where the hairpin turn is, but we weren't like on the opposite street of the hairpin turn. We were sitting right there where the cars go up, you know, and we were hanging out and stuff. And I don't know, I felt something. I really did. And I tell you, this is the first time that happened to me or him or whatever the case may be. Not many people, you can look it up. Not many people even describe what happened to us. But I felt like someone was looking at us from above, yeah? So I look up into the trees, you know, and the branches are going back and forth and creaking with the wind. And that's enough to be eerie, right? That's enough to give you chicken skin, or as Ivan would call it, chicken skins, he would call it. And I look up and I see like these three, no joke, you know how like you see on Halloween night or like during the month of Halloween, you see like, oh, look at the ghosts, look like white sheets, yeah? Oh, look at the white sheets, yeah? Look like the ghosts. That's what it looked like. Typical traditional Halloween ghosts in the trees above us. I'm like, whoa. You know, so I turn and I look at Ivan, who was just kind of like looking around because he's all nervous, right? Because we're sitting there in the dark. Plus, we're crazy for sitting on the hairpin turn. Um, I said, Ivan, look up right now, look up. So Ivan turns and he looks up into the trees and there's nothing there. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I said, Ivan, you got to believe me. I just saw three ghosts in the trees above us. You know, I just saw that. And he's like, you know, Ivan was like, he's still in the beginning of all of this stuff. So he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take his word no matter what. And so we go back to talking and we're looking around because it's Morgan's Corner. And if you want to hear stories about Morgan's Corner, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are going to share that stuff. I used to call that my little office. I used to hang out there, do crazy YouTube lives. But anyway, all of a sudden I get this creepy feeling again. And it's from above my head. So I turn and I look up in the air. And those damn three ghosts are still there. And they're kind of like interwoven through the branches. They're moving in and out of the branches. Oh, wow, that's even more crazy looking now. You know, it's not like they're just floating above. They're moving through the branches. Ivan, look, look. So Ivan turns and he looks up in the tree, because at first I looked at him, looks up into the trees, and there's nothing there. I don't see nothing either. So I'm like, son of a gun, man. I just saw ghosts at Morgan's Corner. Not many people talk about seeing ghosts up there. They talk about Therese Wilder. They talk about the murder that took place a long time ago, the haunting that's attached to it, and all these other crazy things, right? But no one really says, oh, I've actually seen Therese Wilder, by the way. I'll tell you that in another story. But anyway, we're like, oh, damn it. You know, and so we're standing around, we're sitting down talking. And, you know, I just kind of like started to go into a trance in the dark, right? And so and I think Ivan was doing the same, but all of a sudden there was this blood curdling scream. And Ivan is the most calm person in the world for the most part, you know. He's pretty calm, he's pretty collective. But he screamed. Not only did he scream, he stood up, and his body was stiff, and he was looking off to the right. I'm like, Ivan, are you okay? He goes, you know something? Just now, I was looking towards the waterfall, which is across the street, right? I was looking towards that, and I saw this white figure just show up from the trees and just ran straight towards him, which is why he screamed. He screamed, man, like bloody murder screamed. So first time I see him like that. And so that night we both had something really spooky happen to us, right? And so here's Ivan again. Even though we went through all of that, and Ivan's like, you know something, we gotta go back. We gotta go out. I said, okay, Ivan, if you want to go out, okay, it's Halloween. I was kind of like, Ivan wants to go out. So I'm like, all right, you know what, Ivan, you like go out. We're gonna go back to Morgan's Corner. We're gonna go back up there, and we're gonna hang out, and we're gonna see what happens. I guess Ivan might have been like, whoa, this is where we just saw some legit ghosts, right? Like, whoa, you could tell he was upset. Well, not upset, but he was kind of like apprehensive is the right word. But hey, you know what? Him being the gung ho individual that he is, we both went all the way back up there, walking in the dark, hearing all the strange sounds and noises associated with Old Pully Drive. And we got back up to Morgan's Corner, and we hung out for I say about 45 minutes or so, about that amount of time. And then after a while, I was kind of like, oh, you know what, Ivan? Doesn't look like nothing much going to happen tonight. Maybe we should just call it quits. It's Halloween. We just go home early and call it a night. So after a while, we both agreed to do that, right? So before leaving, me being the dummy that I am, right there in the pitch black darkness, I start saying, hey, you know what? To any ghosts that are here tonight, I guess I was saying that, remembering what happened the last time. Hey, any of the ghosts are here tonight. I just wanted to let you know, thank you for allowing us to be here. And if you don't mind me saying this, give us a sign of your presence. And I could imagine Ivan sitting next to me going, oh no, because sometimes when you experience this stuff once is plenty. I don't really want to repeat of the next, of the same thing from the last time. I can kind of pick up that vibe on him. But then after that, I said, hey, just let us know you're there. You find whatever way you want to let us know. So we stand up and we start walking back down that dark road, that old scary road. And if you've been up Old Pully Drive, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And we're walking down this old road, right? And we must have walked about, I don't know, 40, 50 feet. And then all of a sudden we heard like, hey, whoa, ah. And it was like that, like a voice that you could not quite understand what it was saying. And we both stopped, and the weird thing was we heard this voice up in the trees, which is where, the previous time we went there, I saw the ghost up in the trees, right? So we're pretty much freaked out, and I think I said at that time, I said, well, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I just should not have said anything at all. So we were just dumbfounded like the last time. And then finally we got the nerve to take a couple more steps and walk down. And so we did that. And in the middle of the road, in the dark, we heard what sounded like a piano playing, which to me, I automatically get Disney Haunted Mansion vibes, right? Where is that piano coming from? Why is it just kind of like there in the middle of nowhere and we're kind of like walking towards it, right? So it kept making that piano like sound until we actually walked into the actual source, and then it just stopped. And that's how it is, with ghosts. You can go to a place like every night, for God knows how long, and no two experiences is going to be the same, right? So here we are experiencing something up in that area, and I'm like, God, no. Let's just keep walking, Ivan. Pretty soon we'll be out. We'll be out of the tunnel, and we're gonna be just fine. So we continue to walk, and then about 5 minutes later, in the dark again, behind of us, we heard what sounded like a whole bunch of ladies that were just like talking amongst themselves and giggling and laughing. And I'm like thinking to myself, no more, these people shouldn't, no more people here. Only get us, there's no reason why there should be a whole bunch of women behind us, but they were laughing and talking. So we both turned around and we shone our flashlights behind us. Not a damn thing there. Nothing. Oh, thank you for the likes, by the way. Nothing there. And then, of course, when we shone the flashlight on the road, all of that stopped, right? All the sounds and everything stopped. So I'm like, oh, we're going to be out of the tunnel soon. We got to power through this, right? We got to keep going. And we were walking, and we got to the point where, and for most people, you guys don't walk up and down Old Poly Road, right? Old Poly Drive. We're walking to this point where I call it the light at the end of the tunnel. And we see the light that tells us, okay, we're out. We're coming out of the tunnel. Everything's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, we hear a bunch of men talking behind us. And a few of them were laughing. And I'm like, me and Ivan, we just decided to turn around with our flashlights, and we shone it all at once. And of course, nobody was there. And I was like, I spoke up, right? I'm looking at this empty area where there were voices. And I said, well, you know what? I did ask you to give me a sign that you guys were here. And you did a great job. You did a really good job. So I just wanted to say to all of you ghosts out there that heard us and were looking at us and made all kind of noise and everything else that you did tonight, I wanted to wish each and every one of you a happy Halloween. Because I had to change the vibe. I had to change the energy, right? I couldn't just walk out of there totally freaked out. So I said happy Halloween to all of you. And after that, we left. We walked into the light and we went back home. But you know what? I'm so glad that Ivan told me, hey, let's go out tonight. Because I was not in the mood, man, after facing forces of darkness the night before. Even if I was doing it for a ghost tour for a famous magazine company, I was just not in the mood for anything. But because Ivan convinced me to go out, we had that experience. And there's been many times I've walked up and down that road, and I had a few crazy things happen, but nothing like that. But the thing is, as much as we were scared, it was also kind of like, oh, this is pretty cool. I mean, it's not like trying to make scary sounds. They're like laughing and talking. I don't know who they are. They're ghosts, right? They're going to do their thing. But is it possible that they not only remembered us from the last time we went out there to visit, but this time they said, hey, you know what? We're going to bring some of our friends along. They knew that we were coming, and they really gave us a show with what they did. So I'm glad that I was able to share something like that with someone, especially a good friend like Ivan. And I do miss him a lot. We spent a lot of time together, and he's no longer with us. So you know what? Maybe to kind of end this Halloween story, perhaps, maybe, sometimes he goes back up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the future, maybe on a Halloween night, if I feel crazy enough, I'll be walking down that road, and amongst all the voices, I'll hear my friend. I'll hear Ivan. And That's my Halloween story for all of you. I usually share it once a year, not always on YouTube or anything like that. But yeah, thanks, Ivan, for all of that stuff. And thank you for the chicken skin. Because, man, that night, we really felt chicken skin, you know? So that's in memory of my friend. And let me look at the uh, the chat, the live chat. Obaki, aloha, hello, happy Halloween. Hi, Obaki, Obaki. Aloha, Obaki. We're all sitting in the cold. Well, I remember reading that. 1974, my older brother's ghost playing his bongos and brushing his hair in his bedroom, but he had just we had just buried him in the cemetery. WTF, oh my god, Aji, spellbinding, we fam, we're mystified. I would be like that too. You know, that's why, like earlier when I was talking about what happened with us, give us a sign of your presence. You had a sign of presence from your brother who had just passed. Matt Brighter says, I've heard about that Banshee. Not sure if Joe remembers me asking him about that. Renee Cruz Bruja, or Bruja. I'm sorry, Aswang. Yep. Well, yeah, that's different types of entities. One is definitely more witchcraft. The other one is more Filipino vampire. Matt Brighter says, could those hooded figures in the Pearl City area be banshees? No. I can pretty much tell you no. That's not what that is. Sin City, that would be so cool if Ivan reached out to you. Yeah, it would be cool. Sometimes we do like spirit boxes and we'll kind of say, hey, Ivan, are you there? You know, I just recently lost another friend, a really close friend in the paranormal community. And sometimes I'm wondering, it's strange. Yeah, it's like, oh, you out there now? You know, you don't have to do the work anymore. You just can observe us because you've joined the crowd that we heard behind us that night. Matt Brighter, sorry for your loss, Obaki. R.I.P. Ivan. Mahalo for sharing this story, Obaki. You're very welcome. You know, it's Halloween. To be honest, I've been kind of like out of the loop for a bit. You know, I'm still recovering from some personal issues, but this year has been very fulfilling, and I'm glad I was able to go back out. You know what I'm saying? Go back out and hang out with people. I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy. And that's why we had what we did, right, with Pearl City. Tomorrow, just to let everybody know, we will be up at Trail, blah, blah, sorry. We'll be up at Judd Trail with Joe Punohu and company. Joe will be sharing stories, as he always does. And a lot of them are scary or spooky. Sometimes they're very specific. And then afterwards, we will have a recap, as I've been calling it that since the night everything happened. Recap roundtable discussion of what the hell happened at Pearl City High School. How much of our experiences are the same, and how much are some of them different? Yep, that's right, Joe. It's gonna be fun. Just having a talk about this because I noticed that the night after everything happened, me and Joe did the same thing. I went out on YouTube and I was sharing my thoughts on the scream that happened, right? The screaming ghost. And then right when I finished, Joe went on and he was talking about it too. So we had already kind of like decided, you know what? Let's just get together because it's better. Like I noticed because I do interviews, right? When I talk to people and we do interviews, sometimes details pop up that we kind of may have forgotten, although it's still fresh in all of our minds. But it's a nice way to put all of that out there, you know, and just see if we experience the same thing. Let's see what somebody else said. Cash in Dogs. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? I just tuned in, but sorry for your loss. By the way, loved your Pro City videos. Thank you so much, Cash and Dogs. You know, it's really crazy. Thank you for being here, guys. Because what I wanted to say about that, again, reiterating something about the Pro City High School videos. The first one I put out, when we got near that place where the suicide happened, the camera started to get funky and it wasn't working very well. You know, if you watch part two, right, the camera worked fine. But the energy was so strong there, you know, and it was affecting everyone. We'll go over that tomorrow too. We will. Especially the people that was frontline and center like me, Joe, and Mace. We were getting affected by it. But I think the reason why the camera went out, I was thinking about, I'm going to get rid of it and I'm going to keep it for prosperity. And more so, I think the camera went out or was acting weird because of that negative energy or something that was trying to mess with us. And I think that's one of the big themes about what happened at Pearl City High School. Things were trying to mess with us. So, guys, tomorrow I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone has to say. Mary Jean V. Yes, that Saturday night was really nuts. Still working through it myself. Good experience, but sad emotions. Mahalo for sharing. Sorry for your loss. Ivan will be around. I believe he still is. Desert Trey 5 says, can't wait for Judd tomorrow. Thank you so much. I can't wait either. You know, this is a very unique opportunity because usually when Joe does his thing up there or I do something up there, it's very much so like, okay, tell stories and that's it, right? We are fresh off of an investigation where some crazy things happen, yeah? So just to hear what everyone is going to say is going to be interesting. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name. Desser Trey 5. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you. By the way, guys, if you don't mind, please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe or tell your friends, hey, there's this crazy channel called Ghosts of Hawaii. They do interviews and once in a while they go out. And when they go out, things happen. We legit about this stuff. We go out, you know, and things happen. That scream and the analysis of the scream is fantastic. If you want, go back and watch part 2. Okay, after the scream, you're gonna hear Joe and everyone else talking. Carolyn, we're all talking. We're all excited. Mason, everyone about what happened. And then at one point, oh, thank you for the likes, by the way. At one point, right towards the end of it, Carolyn says along the lines of, "Oh, the voice was feminine and distressed, distressed." So anyway, something along those lines, and then you hear the voice say, "Help." This girl's voice say, "Help." It's interesting because if it was coming out of the spirit box, it was clear. It wasn't like the distortion that you get with most spirit box voices, spirit box voices, which happens sometimes, but it was very unique. But I was trying to explain to Joe and Carolyn because I gave them another sound sample. Right where it says "help," there's a voice that says "come here," or something like that says "come here," and it's right underneath the voice, the first one of the lady going, "Oh, help." It's right there, you know. It's this voice saying something like "come here," and to me, I'll do an analysis, but real quick, one of them is trying to be good to us. The other voice is trying to be bad, and when I say bad, I mean bad. So we'll go over that tomorrow. And with that said, everybody, I know it's not quite Halloween yet, but it's really close. Maybe where some of you are at, that moment has come. That veil has opened as much as it can. And maybe tomorrow night, while we talk about everything, what happened and so on, it's been known the last couple of times I went out to Judd with Joe, sensor lights went on and voices were heard. And that'll be a nice way to top it off because I tell you something right now, after Halloween, I'm on vacation. I need to clear the air a bit, but I'll be back in a couple of weeks and I will be, of course, doing something for all of you. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you for allowing me into your homes to share these type of experiences. I really mean it. I heard that screw. What screw? Now you got me looking around. Oh, scream. You heard that scream. Yeah. There's no way to deny that scream. And the most interesting thing about the Pearl City High School, I call it the screaming ghost. It's not human sounding at all. It doesn't sound human. It sounds, I tell you the truth, right? In my opinion, that almost sounds inhuman. You know, barely borderline human sounding scream. And I've listened to it several times. But what I really find amazing is that there's the scream, the reaction, and then that voice on the spirit box. Thank you, Mace Minakawa, for bringing out the spirit box that you had with the speaker, which allowed us to get that voice. But that is amazing. Oh, Cynthia Fenner. Nice to see you, Cynthia. Sin City. That's a cool name. But yeah, he was able to get that voice, right? And the voice connects directly with the screen because the screen was coming from KLM. And KLM is where everything went crazy, the suicide area and everything. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. I am just, to me, it was one of the most amazing investigations that we had ever gone through, in my opinion. In my opinion, because of the way the haunting manifested. Let's just go with that. And with that said, happy Halloween, everybody. Tomorrow night, maybe before you watch us on YouTube, see a scary movie or something, eat some candy. Who cares? It's the night when we're supposed to be having fun. Desert Tray 5 says, before I go, I want to read these. Last night, I heard a high pitched shriek while I was outside doing laundry. Oh, that's not good. I would replace all of that, whatever you were feeling, with some happy thoughts, because those things help. Cash and Dogs, I wonder if Mauna Loa High School is haunted also. That's the school I graduated from in 06. Could be. So many schools here. So many schools, for real. There's a Trey 5. See you tomorrow, Baki. I'll see you folks as well. By the way, if you ever want to get a hold of me, someone got a hold of me on YouTube and wanted to send me a story about the Waimano home area and the spirits that are there. So I gave them my email. In case you ever want to get a hold of me, you can reach me at obakihunter51@gmail.com. All lowercase, obakihunter51@gmail.com. In case you want to share something that you want me to read on the air, or whatever the case may be, or maybe you want to be a guest, I'm more than happy to put you on there. Okay? All right, guys. Please let people know about this channel if you don't mind me asking. Ghosting ain't easy, as you already heard the other night with what we experienced. And I will talk to you all later. Ghosts of Hawaii, you're home for a dose of ghosts. And whoever they are, they were walking around that night. And they're probably still up there walking in the dark, laughing and going about their business. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Happy Halloween. Aloha.